Nootropics 101 right here, baby. This is the starting nootropic advice for everybody. If you're looking to get into this, this is where you need to begin. Not necessarily a sugar-free Red Bull, it just happens to be what I had around. So, everybody asks when they start with any sort of nootropics, they always want the best thing possible. In other words, they've seen the movie Limitless and they want something ridiculously good that's just gonna keep them awake and make them like, be able to talk to girls like the best that possible, sit in class and pay attention, like give speeches, like everything, become the next president of the United States, you name it. Well, unfortunately, NZT out of Limitless doesn't exist, but there's many things that are, still equally quite good and pretty impressive. And one combination that everyone recommends starting with that I'm going to cover today is caffeine and theanine. So full disclosure, this isn't something that I take anymore. I've tried it a couple times, but by popular demand, I'd like to cover this subject and just give you some information on it, like a once over, and why it's actually good, why it didn't work for me, and recommendations on how you can actually do it and apply it to your life. So what makes it good, first of all, is it's got a very good safety profile. Caffeine is something that we're all very familiar with. I think it's considered the most widely used psychoactive chemical in the world, and for the most part, nobody's dying from it. Unless you take entire spoonfuls of caffeine powder and just sit there and eat it all day, like it's not really that bad for you. In some cases, there's actually health benefits. So caffeine is widely accessible, it's wonderful, but what does everybody know it comes with? The jitters. I have a few friends that drink caffeine, and you hear from once in a while, like, oh, I drink too much coffee today, and they're just like wired, and they're talking really fast, they're a little aggressive, and it's funny and all, but when you really want to get stuff done, that's the problem. The rare case that I do drink caffeine, like I drink coffee once or twice a year just for the hell of it. When I do, I'm like wired for hours, and then you just crash really hard, which really sucks. So that's kind of how caffeine goes. Everyone's used to it at this point. Almost everyone's had it before, and it's just a common experience. So how could you make that better? That's the thing. So without getting into anything like actually harder or any more ridiculous nootropics, there's a wonderful chemical out there called L-Theanine. And this is actually found in high quantities in green tea, which is part of why green tea, and more specifically matcha green tea, have a unique buzz that's much milder and much smoother and not as jittery compared to normal caffeinated drinks, like if you go out and have a Red Bull, coffee, whatever your preference may be. So that said, if you mix the two, people have found a while ago that they mix incredibly well. They're very synergistic. So if that's new to you, that basically means that the two combined are better than either one apart from each other. You see that a lot in nootropics in general. But these two are particularly high safety profile, and they mix extremely well, and they'll produce an effect that is not unlike some of the stronger stimulants out there. It's similar feeling. It's not going to be nearly as strong as like Adderall or something, but it's what a lot of people are looking for, and it's easy to do. It's easy to get. So most of the time you can get theanine just on Amazon or your local health food store for maybe $10 at most. And then you just get some caffeine to mix with it. So let's talk about sources though. Theanine is covered. Caffeine, so you generally are going to want, if you're going to get serious about it, you're not going for the source that's going to be your average Starbucks, unicorn, whatever, that doesn't even have coffee in it from what I've been told. Something like that's going to have 300, 400 milligrams of caffeine and like 80 grams of sugar. That's not really what you're going for here. You're going for a good, clean source of caffeine that's not going to contain a lot of other stuff in it. That rules out almost all your energy drinks out there that have artificial sweeteners, sugar, and other vitamins added in that can throw your results off. You're probably just going to want to go for, if you can measure it out accurately, caffeine powder. Caffeine pills are not a bad idea either. One of my favorites, anything that's chocolate related, so that's big for me, although it does contain other chemicals. Actually, I have some cocoa powder here. I do preference dark chocolate for that. So if you go that route, it never hurts to pick up a bar of dark chocolate, very dark chocolate. Cocoa nibs, that's another one. Cacao beans, you can go that route too. So those are a few ways, but as far as accuracy goes, caffeine powder and caffeine pills are probably the easiest way to do it. If you pick up some theanine online, you can at the same time probably just go find some caffeine pills while you're at it. Now, pay attention when you're shopping for them. that you're not buying something or caffeine pills that have a bunch of other stuff in them too. Many of them are sold as workout supplements, pre-workout supplements, and contain a whole list of amino acids and vitamins, which might be great, but the problem is that it's not what you're looking to mix into this. You know, you want to keep everything just to a couple chemicals at a time, and then see how you do with that before you introduce something else. That's something I've learned from experience many years ago, that you take a supplement that has 9 other ingredients and it throws your results off, and it's not even because of the ingredient that you're testing. So once you get these two together, we'll start using this because it's a better example than this Red Bull I keep waving around. Once you get these two together, you want to do this at a 2-to-1 ratio approximately. Now, other people set other numbers. I always did it 2-to-1. Granted, I never had the best luck with this stack, but I've seen 2-to-1 mentioned the most. That's 2-to-1 theanine to caffeine. So caffeine, not caffeine. So you want twice as much theanine as caffeine. So think of it this way: we have 200 milligrams of theanine here. That's going to equal, or you're going to want to mix about 100 milligrams of caffeine with that. Now, this is obviously easiest to do if you have caffeine pills, because most of them are sold in a 200 milligram strength, and you can split one in half. In my experience, most people, especially if you don't drink a lot of caffeine, will do fairly well with 100 milligrams. It's not going to be too much for most people, unless you don't drink any caffeine at all, like me, and it's not going to be so little that you won't feel it. You could go up to 200. If you're a regular coffee drinker and you go through a couple cups a day, you might want to go to 200 milligrams of caffeine right off the bat, and then your 400 milligrams of theanine. So take those two together, and you should notice that the jitters and everything else that you're used to with caffeine, when it hits, are gone. You'll feel a lot sharper, a lot clearer, it feels a lot smoother. Cleaner is a better way to put it. So all this said, you're probably wondering why there's been like a subtle undertone of me trash talking caffeine and theanine, even though I'm saying how great it is. So it works for most people, but in my case, it never really worked that well. I don't do that well with theanine. There's a lot of supplements, as you'll learn watching my videos, that I don't do too well with for whatever reason, so I've had to find other ways around it. Theanine is one of them. It makes me very agitated, and I have no idea why. Other people have found this experience too, where they just get really, really, irritable, really, really angry on it, and they just can't take it. It's supposed to do the opposite, yes, but that's the way it works out sometimes. Aside from that, I would totally combine it otherwise. I'm a big fan of matcha tea. I love it. I drink it every once in a while when I do drink caffeine on those rare cases. I love the taste of it, and I love how it does give you that more refined buzz, that cleaner buzz that only the mix of these two can provide. So is it worth trying? Yes, it's absolutely worth trying. And the reason people have asked me to do this video is because it's often considered the first nootropic you should try. Before you try anything else, don't jump right to the top. Don't go right for the racetams. Don't go right for modafinil or any of the research chemicals, C-Max, things like that. Try something like this. You might be surprised. It's not that it's weak and like beginner level like that. It's that it's going to be very effective for most people. It's easy to take and easy to find, and it's also going to be extremely safe, and there's going to be relatively few side effects from it. The worst case, you feel a little overstimulated or maybe a little bit agitated, and you just stop or you adjust your dosage slightly, maybe a little less caffeine. Play with the ratio a bit too if you find that to be necessary. That said, this is my review. Leave your comments below on these two. We're back to the Red Bull now. Leave your comments below if you've tried it. Let me know how it worked for you, what ratio you tried, what your preferred caffeine is, and we'll take it from there. So thanks, hit subscribe while you're at it. We'll see you in the next video.